think about how desperate of a situation those people were in.
Kelly Wilson has worked in St. Johns County Emergency Services for 16 years, so she's heard the excuses, such as those during Hurricane Matthew in 2016.
They called 911 and they said, we need somebody to come get us. The water was rising in their house. No one could get to them at that time.
She helped when Hurricane Michael hit the Panhandle, when people who didn't evacuate homes called 911.
Oh my God!
And their homes were literally coming apart around them.
Listen, we can't have anybody respond to you this time. All our trucks are grounded.
AAA's survey this year shows that 25% of Floridians would ignore hurricane evacuation warnings.
And of those who say that they would evacuate, they said they would only leave their homes if the storm was a Category 3 hurricane or stronger.
Why stay put? Those surveyed said because they didn't know where to go. They couldn't afford the gas prices or a hotel stay. They didn't want to leave their pets, and maybe if they stay, they could repair their home if it was damaged. Wilson's response?
We have a lot of new people who have recently moved here. We want those folks to go find out today. Do you live in an evacuation zone?
If you do, then plan. If you have a pet, there are pet-friendly shelters and hotels. If money is tight, don't travel too far.
You don't necessarily need to go to Orlando or to Atlanta. We just need you to get outside that evacuation zone.
To a friend's or a shelter. Ultimately, Wilson said neighborhoods are evacuated because of the threat of rising water, and she's heard that story too from people who did not evacuate.
They don't know when the water's going to stop rising. It's thigh deep now. How high is the water going to get? I don't ever want to be standing in my house having that conversation with myself or my family. How high is the water going to get?
Jessica Clark, First Coast News on your side.
That's a tough decision,
That
that
is.
evacuation thing. What's your reaction
Well,
to
it
that?
is a tough because we know for a fact that if folks evacuate, that adds its own bit of risk. Okay, two main things I'd like for folks to think about going into hurricane season. We're not talking about evacuation right now. Number one, and this is from the government side, believe me, if an evacuation order is put out, that makes everybody work more. So that order is not taken lightly, even from the government. Number two, something to remember. Although we're getting better with forecasting where a hurricane's going to go, even the world's best intensity forecasters, they're the ones that decide, is it just a tropical storm or is it going to be a major hurricane, 3, 4, and 5? They will tell you we haven't gotten any better at that over the last 30 years, and yet it's the major hurricanes. So they only account for 10% of all the hurricanes, but 90% of all the deaths and damage. Those are the ones that rapidly intensify. So when the order is given, I could hear some people saying, well, it's only a tropical storm. Unfortunately, a major hurricane can develop within 36 hours. Bridges are shut down. You can't evacuate anymore.
Well, I remember my cousins in Hugo said they'd ride it out. We all called them, told them to leave. In Charleston, they said they would never, ever go through that nightmare again because the sound, it was just scary as all
and
get
you
out.
talk to any individual who stayed there for Michael, they would say the exact same thing.